Hello guys. Hope you are doing great. Hope you are having a great Thursday. We're about to start. We're about to have our class today. Our class is going to be about prepositions. So, in, on, and at. And we're going to start in a few minutes. So, I normally wait for around 5 minutes for us to start. And then we're going to have this basic lesson for free. Okay? So tag your friends, share the link, and we're starting very soon. And if you're watching this and you're live, send me hello. About to start. We're about to have soon. Hello. Today class about prepositions in, on, at. I hope that you guys are excited. We're about to start very soon. Hope that everyone is taking care, and everyone is staying at home, staying safe, and making their part. My students are sending me a message. Hello, teacher, we have course today. Yes. Telling them to hurry up because we're about to start. Prepositions are normally a topic that is considered as taboo, or it's difficult in in English. But personally, I don't agree. I think it's not that complicated. I think it's more about practice. So the more you practice, the more you communicate, the more you're going to remember, the more it gets automatic in your mind, in your head, right? So say hello to me and tag your friends, that friend that doesn't speak English, and in the future, inshallah, you guys want to travel together, tag that friend because we're about to start. Your mom, your dog, anyone who wants to learn a little bit of English in this Thursday night. Hello, Atman. Good to see you. We're starting in 1 minute. We're about to start. The lesson is about prepositions in, on, and at. Okay? How to use the prepositions of time and place. That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay? Hello, Shema. Hope you're doing great. Okay, we're about to start. Amazing, good to see you too, man. Amazing, Otman. So let's go for it. Okay, guys, so for our basic English lessons, we have our schedule. So it was happening 2 times per week for the last 2 weeks, always at 8 p.m. Our first class was about verb to be. Our second class is about the simple present. Our third class was about the present continuous or present progressive. And today we're going to talk about prepositions in, on, and at. Okay? Amazing. So let's start. So in the class today, we're going to talk about prepositions. In English, there are a lot of prepositions. There are a lot of situations where you can use those prepositions, right? Today, we're going to talk about the three most important ones and the two most used scenarios. So we're going to talk about the three most important prepositions, which are in, on, and at, and we're going to talk about the situation that we're going to use those prepositions. In this case, we're going to use them for time or for place. Okay? Moving on. What are the prepositions? So, as we talked in, on, and at, they are short words that are usually used in front of nouns. Okay? And they're normally used to link a noun, a pronoun, or a noun phrase to another sentence. Okay? So you can be connecting two sentences or you can be using them in front of nouns. Okay? Hello, Bushra. Hope you're doing great. Bushra missed this class when we had it in the class. Hello, Mustafa. Hope you're doing great. Mr. Ayub, also good to see you. Happy birthday in a late date. Okay? Amazing. So moving on. So let's talk about the situations now that we're going to use the preposition of time in. So let's start talking about in, okay? So the first situation that you can use the preposition of time in is when you're talking about centuries, okay? But Rodrigo, what are centuries? Centuries are normally periods of 100 years, okay? So for example, I put over there, in the 1800s, in the 1800s. So in this case, it's going from 1800 until 1899, okay? So it's a period of time of 100 years, okay? When you're talking about this, you're going to use in, okay? Amazing. Moving on, talking about decades. So decades are periods of time of 10 years, right? So I put over there the example, in the 80s, right? In the 80s, it was the timing of rock and roll, of the hippie movement, right? So it's a period of 10 years from 1980 until 1989, right? Amazing. And another situation that we can use the preposition in is when we are talking about years. And this one is very common. It happens frequently, okay? So we are in 2020 or 2020, right? But every time you're referring to an year, you're going to use in, okay? Amazing. Hello, Mariam. Hope you're doing great. So, let's talk about some other situations that we can use preposition in. So we can use them for months, right? So currently we are in April, right? It's the month that it's happening now, right? Amazing. So just if you don't know about the months of the year, I'm also going to put them over here, okay? So just a reminder, in January, in February, in March, in April, in May, in June, in July, in August, in September, in October, in November, and in December. Okay? Another situation that we can use the preposition in is when we're talking about weeks, when we're talking about a period of time in the future or an event that is going to happen, or in the next week, or in 1 week from now, or in 2 weeks from now, or in 3 weeks from now, or even more, so on. Okay? And we can also use the preposition of time in when we're talking about the period of the day. So over there as an example, in the morning, right? In this case, for in the period of day, we're going to use in for in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. But there is a very, very important part, which is there is an exception inside the period of the day. And in this case, this exception is at night, right? So it's in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and at night, okay? Hello, Fatima Zara. Hope you're doing great. So, another situation that we can use our preposition of time in, we can use it with the seasons of the year, right? So, for example, in the summer, right? So we can have in the spring, in the fall, and in the winter, right? The, in this case, is optional because it depends on the context that you're talking about, okay? And as I already talked to you, so for a period of the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and at night, okay? Amazing. So let's go for some examples. I didn't live in the 1800s. This is an example of centuries, right? Another example of decades. My friend was born in the 80s, right? Another one. I was born in 1994, right? In this case, we're talking about years, right? Next example. My birthday is in September, right? In this case, September is a month. So we're talking about months, right? My final project is in 1 week, right? And this is the situation for weeks, right? The final project is the project that you do when you finish normally university, right? And our last example, he likes to wake up early in the morning, right? We're talking in this case about a period of the day, in the morning, right? So another another exception is in a minute, in a few minutes, or in an hour. Okay, so these are other types of situations that you can find about prepositions. Okay, another thing that I want to tell you about is about that the preposition of time in this case, is the biggest one, or is bigger than the other ones. So in, when we're talking about time, is the one that is the most frequent, but is the one that is used in situations that they are, let's say, bigger than the others. Here we're talking about years, we're talking about months, we're not talking about days, we're not talking about hours. Okay, so that's why in is very, very important when it comes to preposition of time. Okay. Hello, Mr. Nabil. Hope you're doing great. Hello, Shakib. You're also missed. Amazing. So let's go for the preposition of time on. Okay. So now we finished with in when we were talking about time, and now we're going to start with on, also about time. Okay. So the first situation is in the days of the week, right? We're having this class on Thursday, right? Which is today. Okay. So also a reminder for you, if you don't know about the days of the week, okay, I also put a reminder over here, right? So we have on Sunday, on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, and on Saturday. Okay? Amazing. And you have another situation that we can use on, is a situation about a specific date, right? On April 9th, 2020, right? So this lesson is happening on April 9th, 2020, right? It's a specific date. Okay, and of course it can be used with any specific date. Okay, hello people that sent me hi online. Amazing. Moving forward, so there is one situation in English which is about when we want to talk about the weekend, right? In this case we have two main situations. That is on the weekend and that is at the weekend. Okay? But Rodrigo, which one is correct? Well, there is no correct or wrong one. On the weekend is more used in the American English, while at the weekend is more used in the British English. Okay? The two of them are correct. The only one you cannot use is in the weekend, right? Amazing. And another situation that we can use the preposition of time on is in a period of a specific day, right? So on Thursday evening. So in this case, remember that in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, right? But we're talking about a specific period of the day, of a specific day. So in this case, we're going to use on, right? And I put over there some other examples. On Monday morning, on Tuesday afternoon, and on Wednesday evening, right? Amazing, guys. Then let's check some examples of the preposition of time on. Okay, so I have a meeting on Monday, right? In this case, we're talking about a day of the week, which is Monday. So we use on, right? Next one. I was born on September 3rd, 1994, right? In this case, we're talking about a specific date, about my birthday. So in this case, we're going to use on, right? Next example, we rest on the weekend, right? Just a reminder that on the weekend is used in the American English, okay? Another one, I go to the gym on Tuesdays evening, right? In this case, is a period of a specific day, so we use on Tuesdays evening, right? There are some other situations that you can also use on, and I'm putting them over there, okay? So you can say that someone is on time, that this person is not late. This person is in the correct hour to meet with you or to do something, okay? On a holiday, so that also happens when we take a break from work or when we take a vacation, right? On my birthday, it's also a specific situation, and on a weekday, okay? In this case, the preposition of time on is smaller than the preposition of time in, right? So in we were talking about centuries, decades, years, right? Months. And now we're talking about a day of the week. We're talking about a specific date. We're talking about a specific period of time of the day. So let's say that it's the on is smaller than in, right? The ways that we use on are, let's say, shorter than the other one. It's smaller than the other one. Okay? Amazing. Then we have the preposition of time at, right? And in this case, at, we're going to use for hours. So at 8 p.m. as an example, and it can be used to any hour, right? At 8 p.m. So let's check our examples over there, okay? Our online class starts at 8 p.m., right? So in this case, we're talking about an hour, so we're using at, right? I have a meeting at 1 o'clock, right? So in this case, we're using at also because of an hour. And the last one, yesterday I slept at midnight, right? Midnight is the last hour of the day, and we also use at for it, okay? So we're going to use at for hours in any kind of situation that you write the hours, be it 8 p.m., be it 1 o'clock, be it midnight, be it at noon or midday, for example. And we have over there some other exceptions, right? So at noon, at midday, I already talked about them. At night, which is a specific case of a period of the day. Okay, this is very important. So in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, at night, right? Then we have at sunrise, at sunset, and at the weekend. In this case, use it in the British language, okay? And another important part is the preposition of time at is used in the smallest situation, right? So we talked about in, and in had decades, centuries, years, months. Then we talked about on, that had days, that had specific periods of time of the day, right? And here we're having at to represent basically the hours. So it's the smallest one when it comes to time. Okay? Amazing. So let's check some quick exercises to check if we understood the prepositions of time. So we have over there some examples, okay? So I'm going to have a picnic, Saturday evening. In this case, we're talking about a period of a specific day, right? So in this case, we're going to use on, right? Next one, he works, the evening. In this case, we use in the evening because we're talking about a period of the day, right? Next one is our meeting, 2 p.m. In this case, we're talking about a specific hour, right? So we're going to use at. Amazing. My brother's birthday is May 11th. In this case, we're talking about a specific date. So we're going to use my brother's birthday is on May 11th. Okay. Amazing. It gets cold night. So it's very important to remember that the periods of the day we use in, but night we use at, right? So in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. Okay? It's a specific situation. Okay? Next one. Are there any holidays? October. In this case, we're talking about a month. And we're going to use in, right? So, are there any holidays in October? Amazing. And our last example, an example that I'm happy about. Brazil won the World Cup, 2002, right? In this case, we're talking about a specific year. So, we're going to use in, right? Brazil won the World Cup in 2002. Okay? Amazing, guys. So we finished now talking about prepositions of time. And now we're going to talk about prepositions of place. But the prepositions of place are the same prepositions as the prepositions of time. So here we're going to talk about in, on, and at again. But in this case, they're used differently. They're used in a different format, okay? That we are going to check now, okay? So, preposition of place in, okay? Let's start with in. In is also very basic, okay? We're going to use for country, we're going to use for city, and we're going to use for neighborhood, okay? So, as an example there, country, in Morocco, right? In France, in Brazil, in United States, right? Amazing. For city, in Rabat, in New York, in Paris, in Tokyo, in Berlin, okay? And neighborhood, if you don't know what is a neighborhood is an area of a specific city, right? So here in Rabat, where English Express is placed, the neighborhood where placed is in Agdal, right? But here in Rabat, we have other neighborhoods like Hey Riyadh, like Suisi, like Hey Fatih, and so on. Okay, so neighborhoods are areas inside a city. Okay, amazing. And then checking some examples of the preposition in this case, when we're talking about places. So, I live in Morocco, right? I live in Rabat. So the first one about a country, the second one about a city, okay? You can check the picture of the map of Morocco. You can check the picture of the Hassan Tower here in Rabat, okay? And our last example over there, English Express is placed in Agdal, right? In the neighborhood of Agdal. Okay? So in this case, is more general, is less specific, okay? Is when we're talking about also a place that is, let's say, big, right? We're not talking about a country, about a city, or about a neighborhood, okay? It's not very specific, okay? Moving on. Now let's talk about the preposition of place on. On has a unique situation that we can use it when it comes to place, right? We're going to use it when we're talking about streets and avenues, right? So, for example, on Avenue de France, right? The name is in French, right? Because it's the name of the street where English Express is placed. So we can check the example. English Express is placed on Avenue de France. Okay, so we're going to use it when you're talking about specific street or a specific avenue, right? When you're talking, for example, about Oxford Street, when you're talking about the avenue of the United Nations here in Rabat, right? And in this case, on is more specific. So in, we talked about country, city, and neighborhood. On, we're talking about a street or an avenue, okay? So it's more specific than in, right? And let's go to our last situation of the class today. We're going to talk about the preposition of place at, okay? At is even more specific than our last preposition. Why? Because we're only going to use it when we're talking about an address, okay? So, as an example, English Express is placed at 53 Oued Moloya Avenue de France, 10,080 Rabat Agdal, right? So this is the complete address of where English Express is placed. So we're going to use at when we're going to talk about the address of a specific place, okay? In this case, guys, we're using at as a very specific situation. So we had in that was general, we had on that was more specific, and at is very specific, complete information about the address. Okay? Amazing, guys. Guys, that's it for our class of today. Okay, I didn't put examples of preposition of place in, on, at, because I think that they are super simple. Okay, the most important thing now is for you to practice. Okay, so for now, this is our it's the end of our basic English lessons. Okay, maybe we might be continuing it in a close future. So write it down if there is any topic that you would like to know, if you have questions, if you would like to see a different class about a specific topic, what is the topic, and who knows, next week I might be here talking to you guys again. Okay? And guys, just we talked a little bit about English Express. So here, the most important thing for us is the communication. Okay? Here, the idea is not to study grammar, to study something that is boring, exercises. Of course, there is grammar, there are exercises, but the most important thing for us is the communication, okay? So please remember to practice your English, okay? Stay at home, wash your hands, and thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for talking to me and keeping up this great activity that was giving these classes to you guys. And I hope that everyone stays safe at home, and I wish you all the best. Okay? Study some English in the future. Join us with English Express, and big kisses. Take care, guys, and hope to see you soon. Okay? Bye bye.